Okay, so I'm Allie, and I'm from TCU World Religions class, and today we are interviewing Juan and Marge on the other in society and how some perceive it to be homosexuality. So I'm going to ask you Juan a few questions, and then I'm going to ask Maggie a few questions about it. Okay, so Juan, being a homosexual, do you feel like the other in society sometimes?
I would say that that's a definite possibility for most people. The problem is, in America, we're predominantly Christian, and so a lot of people just find reasons to hate on things that they don't really understand. And one of the main things that's been talked about and articulated in several passages has been homosexual acts, which they automatically link to homosexuality.
Okay. When you first came out, did people around you treat you differently, or were they understanding and supportive?
It was definitely different because of the fact that I grew up in a predominantly Christian background, and my parents felt that there was something that needed to be done about it in that regard. So rather than try and accept me and love me for who I am, they tried to change me and sent me through numerous things to see if that was something that could be changed.
Oh. Okay. Do you feel like homosexuality is accepted more now than it was in the past?
As it would be, I guess, in my lifetime, it definitely has changed just from when I first figured out that I was gay to being in an environment like TCU. It definitely shows that it's being more accepted here. However, I know that there's still many areas that we can improve on in regards to not being considered the other anymore.
Okay, thanks. And Marge, how would you define the other in society?
I think it's just not being in the norm in society, being different. Like, everyone has their own standard of what it is, but it can be anything from being homosexual to being immigrant and from being, I don't know.
How do you feel about homosexuality?
I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. I don't see them as being different. I've grown up with several friends who are homosexual, and I treat them how I treat my other friends, and I don't even see it being a problem.
Okay. And if you could choose one of these options I'm going to give you to be the other in society, you're going to tell me which one and why. So you can either have immigrants, obese people, homosexuals, or celebrities.
I would say immigrants, if our society looked at it as a whole, just because they're coming into our society, they think, I don't know, like you said earlier, Muslims, like especially after 9/11, they are really skeptical of Muslims coming into our society, and they just are always skeptical and see them as being terrorists and not as, even though, you know, they're just human beings, and not every single person who's Muslim is a terrorist.
Okay, perfect. So I want to thank Marge and Juan for coming out and giving us their views on how they feel about the others in society and homosexuality. And on top of that, I want you guys to go and think about who you define as the other in society and if it's really worth having and defining a group as the other in your society.